from American Senior Communities. I am joined now by Tim Samant. And Tim is with Riverview Village. And we're going to talk a little bit about how life has changed in a senior facility. Tim, you guys are the experts at American Senior Communities, you at Riverview, of course. I guess my first question is, it's a sad time, and I know I've been to Riverview, and you guys have a very positive vibe. How have you been able to keep that positivity and keep your residents feeling good about themselves and what's going on?
Well, one, you know, I cover Clark Rehab too, John. So shout out to Clark Rehab as well.
Thank you.
Both Clark Rehab and Riverview, we have put many things in place to protect our residents and also stay connected to our loved ones as well. So some of those challenges that we have seen, of course, is your stay-in law. So therefore, preventing, you know, visitation. It has been no visitation, unfortunately, but again, we've put different parameters in place. We've done social media, we do window visits, we have our care tote to where residents or family members can drop off
Packages,
items to the patient as well. So.
All right, yeah, I think it's certainly challenging, but I like the fact that you guys are being proactive with senior communities. I appreciate the American Senior Communities. Let's talk a little bit about, okay, what about if you have a resident who has some cognitive issues, perhaps they're having a struggle to understand mentally what is going on now in the world and to understand about the pandemic and why their loved ones can't see them. How do you handle that, Tim?
Well, you know, at Riverview, we have our Augustus Cottage, which a lot of our residents have dementia on that unit. So again, it's very important for them to stay connected. One of the things we can do is Facetiming. We can also do Zoom. Zoom's been real popular, you know, through this pandemic now. So they are able to see their faces of their loved ones, hear their voices, and a lot of times that will certainly ease their tension or their, you know, their behaviors. So.
Yeah, and you talked about the window visits. You know, we see those on television, and they are heartwarming. Heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. It's like you want to hug your senior loved one, you can't, but at least you're coming to see them, and they know that you're with them in spirit. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. But when those folks are coming by and they're visiting their loved ones, they can also drop by something that might help them. And we encourage anyone who's watching right now, if you'd like to help out, you know, senior folks in a facility, you can do that, can't you, Tim?
Yes, you can. Of course, we are taking in PPEs, personal protective equipment. You can certainly drop those off at the nursing homes, Clark Rehab, Riverview, or Hillcrest Village. That's your 3 local facilities. We are not taking any food donations or anything like that, but just really the PPEs, just to ensure that we have our supplies. But again, we have plenty of, you know, PPEs within the facility, but we always need extra, and it's always nice to have that extra. And I will say that the community, the outpouring of love, the respect that we have been given. I mean, we've had people, you know, making hand sewn masks, dropping them off, writing us letters, just showing the support from the community during this epidemic.
I think that's fantastic. And I know that you guys like to take your residents on excursions to go out, you know, whether it be a baseball game or going to the park or the zoo. Obviously, you've had to pull back on that a little bit. How do you keep the morale up there at Clark and also at Riverview?
Well, that's a good thing you asked that, because again, it is keeping the morale of the facility up. Our staff, you know, they've been, you know, giving their hearts, you know, everything to the nursing home, to our residents. But our residents are, you know, they're getting a little antsy too. You know, they enjoy the outings that they normally go on up to Huber's or, you know, like you said, to the ballpark. But we kind of brought the joy of different activities within the facility. And of course, we have some photos of both Clark Rehab and Riverview Village. But we do Spirit Week. Each week, our executive director and team get together and we kind of pick, next week's going to be holiday week. So each day is going to be a different holiday. So I'm excited about Christmas. But this week, we've got Spirit Week, which each team member wears a different color. Last week was Decades Week, and of course, me being an 80s kid, love the 80s. So, you know, again, we're doing a lot of fun things within the facility. We did, let's see, remote control car races a couple weeks ago. So again, we're just doing a lot of fun things.
And Tim, I have to ask you, because I love the fact that, like I said, you guys have been proactive, and I know you really genuinely care about, first of all, the safety of your residents, and second, that they're having a great life experience. But you mentioned Zoom, and we talked about Facetime and all of these things, which I think is fantastic, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But don't you see, like, I picture when Derby comes back on September 5th, that's the best example that I can give, that'll be a joyous occasion. When these seniors are able to see their loved ones, their family members, their friends that they've missed so much, that's going to be a great day at all of your facilities, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'll share a little story real quick. A couple weeks ago, we had the News and Tribune come out. And they were doing a report on seniors and how this is affected to seniors. So they did a couple shots of some of our residents, both at Clark Rehab and Riverview Village. But the one lady that they captured in the window visit, she got to go home a week later. So not only are you seeing her there in the newspaper, but 2 weeks later, she got to go home with her son. So her son came up, picked her up, and she held this sign out, "Thank you, Clark Rehab, I'm going home." And I tell you, that brings a tear to you, because again, a lot of our residents, this is their home, you know, so we do have a lot of patients that do go home. But again, just during this time, it just adds more emotion. And it just, again, it's a great time to see that during this time.
I'm with you, Tim. That picture was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, for those who maybe you're hitting a crisis situation and they want to tour your facility, can they find out a lot of information online? Obviously now a one-on-one, tour is probably impossible, but they can go online and check out the facility and what you offer, correct?
Yes, definitely. During this time, we still have to care for new patients coming in. So therefore, we can still make connection with the family over the telephone. They can go on our website, look at our photos through our photo albums. But we can also set up some other things that we've had kind of been tinkering around with in reference to home evals and things like that. So again, the best thing to do is give us a call at either facility, ask for Tim, and we'll set up an opportunity to talk over the telephone, and then we'll go from there with them.
Give me a fist bump, Tim, if you would, please. Okay,
fist
ready?
bump.
There you go. We do social distance here. There we go.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.